What's up, everybody? Welcome back to That Bariatric Surgery Guy, aka That BS Guy, and your one-stop shop for everything weight loss surgery related. Today is going to be an interesting topic because it is something that I have noticed, I've gotten some feedback from, and I'm trying to make this not male-centric. I want to make sure that I'm very inclusive in the majority of my content. Yes, I do make a few, male-centric videos, because I personally feel like there's a ton of women talking about weight loss surgery, and so I think it is good to kind of have some variation here and there. But in this video, I'm going to talk about a blanket statement in regard to weight loss surgery or losing weight in general and online dating. Oh, yes, we are going to talk about online dating for a moment, folks, and boy, okay, so for those of you who've been following my channel, know that I recently got a relationship a couple months ago, right before the pandemic hit, and I really haven't gotten any thought about dating or anything like that, but I do feel at some point in the future I am going to, and so I, being the person I am, decided to start watching some YouTube videos in regard to best practices of online dating for someone in their 30s. And I've come to the conclusion that I'm kind of screwed. and I say that in the most honest way I can possibly say to you guys, is because it's not so much about whether I think that I'm appealing. Okay, I think I'm a decent looking dude. Okay, and hopefully still getting better because I'm losing some weight, doing some activity, getting it right. But it's not me just being out there on a pedestal, on a showcase. Like, look at this new model, the 2020 version of That BS Guy. Like, no, it's me versus every dude ever, right? That's single, and there's a lot of us. I would say that from what I've discovered that women have the strategic advantage most of the time on online dating platforms. There's I think Tinder is almost 70% men, 30% women, and I think only the top 5% to 10% of attractive guys are the ones that really get all the swipes, because you may not even see those other 20% even pop up because of the way the algorithm works. Bumble is very similar, and then there's the paid sites, which do a little bit different. I'm not going to talk about what site's best for what or for whom or whatever it may be, but I want to talk about your confidence in your body persona, when you get online. All right, so I want to first talk about the realities here. I've talked to some people and about dating and their experiences after weight loss surgery, and it's very different for both men and women in certain respects, but in some it is very similar. So I'm going to talk about the similar stuff, and then I'll kind of branch off here in just a second. So as far as the similar stuff is that when you do lose the weight and it becomes noticeable. Now, what I mean by noticeable, meaning that not only do you notice it as a very big difference, but your friends, particularly those that don't see you every single day, are making comments about it unsolicited, and that they're like, "Wow, that you're losing a lot of weight. Like, this is incredible. You're looking so good." You're gonna get those comments, and it's an awesome feeling. First of all, I just want to throw that out there. It's a great feeling to get unsolicited praise for the hard work that you're putting into yourself. So I think, enjoy yourself. Enjoy it for a moment. But just because you're getting praise does not mean that you are, a 10. Okay? And I don't like to use the number scale because I think that's very subjective when it comes down to what people are looking for. I mean, for one girl, I may be like an 8. For another girl, I could be a 4, and another girl, I could be like a freaking 10. I don't know. And it's the same thing with women on the flip end. There's some subjectivity to what men find attractive, what women find attractive. So I'm not here to tell you what's right and wrong as far as like what you think you are or what other people perceive you as. I am strictly speaking about what we view ourselves as. Okay, so when using myself as an example, like if I get online, I really don't think of myself as anything too special, So I'll take some decent looking pictures of myself or whatever and throw them on there and make a cute little profile and call it good. And then don't get any matches, right? So obviously what I'm doing is not working, right? Or what I have been doing in the past has not been working. But when I was watching these videos, there's a lot of strategy to it, right? There's a lot of things that you want to. Now, it really depends on what you're going for. I will say that there's some integral differences if you're going for just a good time versus trying to find someone to long-term date. There's a difference in approach, right? So you might one tactic might be, hey, I'm looking for a long-term relationship, and then all the other people that are just looking, I don't want to talk to you, they're not going to talk to you, not going to swipe on you. Whereas if you advertise for like just hanging out, don't care what, wink, wink, then the people who are looking for a long-term relationship are also not going to want to have much of your time anyways. So you kind of have to know what you're going for, first of all. If you don't know, I wouldn't even recommend getting on the dating sites because it may just be annoying to you. But I digress. The point I'm trying to make is that when you look at yourself, be mindful where you're at in your weight loss journey, okay? So if you had your surgery a month ago and you're feeling good, and then you want to get out there and start dating, I would hold off, okay? And I say this only because your value, your perceived value, and I hate talking about this because it makes me sound so superficial, but I lived it, so I gotta say it. Someone's gotta say it, right? Your perceived value will change based on your physical condition, okay? So the smaller you get, typically, the more attractive, subjectively, you become. And I use the word small as in, I should substitute the word healthy. The healthier you look, the more attractive you typically become aesthetically. Is that good? I don't know per se, but I will just say that, if you dive into the dating pool 2 or 3 months in after your surgery, you're going to be dating in a smaller pool. Okay, you might have some success, but I'm also going to say that if you wait, if you give it a little bit more time and find yourself where you're feeling comfortable, you're feeling confident, and you're feeling sexier across the board, then not only can you date whoever was in that first pool, but now your pool is now going to be a lot bigger. I would say this is more for women. When I say that, men, we're still going to have to compete with the naturally skinny guys regardless because, no one really knows that you've had weight loss surgery. And if you look more normal, then you're competing with normal guys. And I'll just be real with you. From the guy's perspective, it's one thing to compete against other big guys and win, right? But it's a whole other ball game when you're competing against like the athletes and, all of those guys that were, good looking since birth, So now you have to step up your game. You have to use your words. You have to be charming. You have to do all this other stuff. Women, ladies, you can fall into a trap. You might still see yourself as that big girl who can only get, that lower tier guy. I hate to say lower tier. Gosh, I hate talking about this kind of stuff. But you might have found yourself settling because you didn't think you could get that guy that's in that dream guy, right? Well, I'm here to tell you, you might not still be able to get that dream guy, because those dream guys are, they might be dating models, right? But here's the deal. You can at least be competitive, which is probably more, and this is strictly based on looks. I'm not saying that you couldn't be competitive with your mind and your soul and all this kind of stuff, but I'm saying that you now can be competitive with those higher end looking girls. And so you're going to find that you have a shot. Shoot your shot, do your thing. I highly advocate to go for what you find attractive and don't settle for something that you just think because you can, With that being said, I also think that, going back to what I first said, knowing what you're after. If you're a person that hasn't had a lot of dating experience and other experience, and you're just wanting to get out there, it doesn't really matter, get your experience, be safe about it, but get your experience, do your thing. Not my place to judge you. It's not anybody's place to judge you. You do you. But if you're trying to do the whole relationship thing, then you may want to temper yourself. You may not want to go for that Adonis. You may not want to go for that supermodel. You may want to go for somebody who, looks like they'll be a true person and not just jump ship to the next hottest thing on the market, right? So be mindful of that. Dating sites also vary in the type of clientele they have. I mean, like if you're above the age of 40, you're probably not going to have a lot of luck on Tinder or even Bumble. Those are for people in their early 20s to maybe mid 30s. You may find yourself more apt on Match.com or eHarmony. There's some in-betweener ones like Hinge, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, which is called lots of bots. At least that's the last time whenever I use that, it's just lots of bots. But the idea here is every one of them has like a little niche, and I would find which one for you really would fit the bill. And if you go on your app store, the Google Play Store, even search online for dating sites, there's hundreds of them, honestly. But I would say that do your research. Like I said, I'm not here to advocate for any particular dating app or outlet, but what I am telling you is that be mindful of where you are in your progress. Don't let yourself settle, but don't shoot for the stars too high at first. Be mindful of who you are and, be realistic with yourself. Like, yes, you are getting more attractive. There's no reason why you shouldn't have your standards and shoot for your standards. But if you're finding that you're not getting the bites that you want, or people are just using you or wanting to just use you for your looks and that's not what you're about, then your search parameters might need to change. And it's really easy to find ourselves just in this moment of like, yes, attention, give it to me. I already want all this attention. And I've never experienced this before. For a lot of us, it was like that. Like you get some attention, it's like, whoa, like, is this what it really feels like to be desired? Is this what it's like? Yeah. I mean, I would say that if you've never experienced that, it's going to be a whole other world trying to get out there and date. But just be mindful of who you are. Keep yourself centered. And that's all I can tell you. Okay? It's really easy to get excited about dating. It's really easy to be excited about having different opportunities. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. Right? And I think it's important that, you figure out what you want first and don't just bend to the whims of what other people want from you. Okay? That goes for both men and women. We take this step to have weight loss surgery for the health piece first. At least I would like to think so. And whatever comes after that is a benefit, but it's an earned benefit. It's not something that's just given to us. So I will advocate, and I strongly suggest just looking inside and figuring out, okay, am I even ready for dating? I just had my surgery. Am I ready for dating? Is it that time yet? What do I really want? Do I want to have fun, or do I want a long-term relationship? Fun can be whatever it is to you. And then number 3, am I being realistic with myself? Okay. So am I shooting for, Victoria's Secret models or, Chris Hemsworth, for example? Or am I shooting for guys and ladies that exhibit the qualities that I really find attractive, regardless of what intent I'm looking for, right? So that's just my 2 cents on this. I think, like I said, I do this because I talk about this because I've gotten a lot of questions in regard to like, hey, how do people treat you different after you for dating and after weight loss surgery? And the simple answer is, for that question, is that people who probably have known you but never found you attractive may find you attractive and shoot their shot at you unexpectedly. And whether you take it or leave it, I personally don't, because you've had your shot. You've been there for how long? You didn't do anything, and you knew that there was this beautiful person underneath, and you didn't take it. But on the flip side, these new people, what if I got fat again? Would they still like me? It's a very big conundrum, right? And then I look at myself and go, okay, well, how do I perceive it? Would I date a morbidly obese person? No. I hate to say it like that, but I wouldn't, because I wasn't attracted to that. And that's why I didn't blame women for not being attracted to me when I was almost 400 pounds. It's not their fault that I'm fat, right? It's not their fault that I love, eating tons of burritos and tacos. That's not their fault. It's my fault. It's a very yummy fault, but it was my fault nonetheless. And the point is that it's okay to acknowledge that thing. It's not self-deprecating to acknowledge the fact that we were unhealthy, right? So now that you are getting healthy, and now that we are moving into this more attractive phase, you might have to be more selective. Before we had to kind of take what we could get in certain respects, but now, no. Have your standards, live your dream. Like right now, I'm personally not dating because first of all, I don't, after post breakup and not having a lot of social opportunity, I don't feel like I'm mentally and emotionally ready for that. But at the same time, I will be eventually. And so I'm preparing myself mentally going, okay, I think that we need to be realistic with ourselves and what we're trying to do, right? And, if you're in your 20s and 30s and you want to hop on Tinder and Bumble, do it. If you're in your 30s and 40s and you want to try and find something on Match.com or eHarmony, do it. If you're in your 40s and 50s or so on and so forth, actually, eHarmony and Match.com probably work for everybody, to be honest with you, if you're above the age of 30. But there are different dating sites for different types of preferences. And there's nothing right or wrong between doing what you want and going for what you want. So I'm just here to advocate for you guys. And I will make videos like this to talk about controversial things, but at the same time, it's all in your hands. It's all in your court, guys. Like I don't want you to feel like that dating is scary or whatever, but it is something to take in consideration. So if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give a like down below. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers to try and grow the tech and everything. I need a new computer to continue on doing this at some point. So if it's worth your time to have that extra click, feel free. I would love you forever. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the chat below or the comments below. Anyways, thank you so much, everybody, and have a great day. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.